Hey guys, welcome back. And today I'm going to be talking about a movie that I recently got not too long ago, and I actually recently saw for the first time. And a lot of you guys might be surprised that I saw it for the first time, but that's just the way it is. No particular reason as to why. It just, sort of happened. And that is Sugar Hill, released in 1994 and directed by Leon Ihasso. I think that's how you pronounce his last name, and forgive me if I mispronounced it. Stars Wesley Snipes, Michael Wright, Teresa Randall, Clarence Williams III, Abe Vigoda, and Ernie Hudson. And basically, it's about two drug dealers that are brothers, Ray Nathan and Romello, um, that are basically, like the main guys that are running the streets in Harlem, which is in New York. And Romello uh, basically meets this very nice lady, and because he meets this nice lady and wants to build a life with her, he basically wants to turn his life around and walk away from the drug dealer lifestyle. And unfortunately, he ends up having to go back to the lifestyle to save his brother who's in trouble with the mob, and that's basically the movie. And I bought this used on Amazon.com, and I got it for $5, and it's a pretty good deal. Like the case is a little bit beat up because as you can see, like the case is broken, and here's the disc. The disc is in good condition. It's just like the case is all messed up, but that's okay. I can just replace the case later. But yeah, here's the side and here's the back, and this is the newer DVD release version. This DVD in particular came out in 2011, and yeah, it's different cover art. I know a lot of you guys are probably familiar with the original cover art, but this is the newer cover art. And yeah, I have to say that this was a very good movie. I really enjoyed this one. It's one of those I always wanted to see but never got around to seeing it. I'm a big fan of Wesley Snipes. I think that he's one of the best actors in Hollywood ever. And I know a lot of you guys out there would agree with me on that. From Blade, White Man Can't Jump, Money Train, you know, see what else he did. Murder at 1600. Whole bunch of other good movies out there that he was in, and yeah, he's really good as the younger brother Romello in this, and his brother. Who's played by Michael Wright as Ray Nathan, is a pretty good actor too, and Clarence Williams III, who sadly passed away a couple years back, he plays their father, and he's a good actor too. And like you've seen him in a bunch of other stuff, like the Mob Squad back in the day. He did Tales from the Hood, Hoodlum, American Gangster. He did an episode of Everybody Hates Chris. Yeah, very good actor. Sadly, he's no longer with us, and the director of this too also passed away, um, and so that's too bad. Um, and Teresa Randall, she's very, very beautiful. She does a good job playing the girl that he likes, and her name is Melissa. And her and Wesley Snipes have really good chemistry together on screen. And at first, she's not so sure of him, but then she ends up getting to know him, and then of course she finds out, what happened, about his, life and everything, and that kind of scares her away. But then, she ends up giving him a chance, and I thought that was a very interesting aspect of the movie of a guy that has been in the game for so long of crime that he basically sees a woman that he loves and really cares about and is willing to give it all up, to basically live a normal, regular life. And I think that's very good because a lot of guys, who are involved with like the drug dealing game or mob, don't like to give it up because of the money and the power and all that kind of stuff. But it's interesting. It's an interesting story. It's pretty dark and gritty because it's about drug addiction and drug dealing and stuff like that, and basically being in the hood. And Roger Ebert gave it a good review, as it says right there. Powerful acting, a deeply affecting story, and he rated it 4 stars, and that's a true rate right there to me. And you know, rest in peace to Roger Ebert, of course. He was a great film critic, and I agree with him on this one. Sometimes I agree with Ebert on certain movies, sometimes I don't, because sometimes, he's hated on very good films, as we all know if you're familiar with him. But yeah, this DVD doesn't really have a whole lot of features. It only really has like the trailer and a featurette, and that's about it. Surprisingly, this doesn't have a Blu-ray release, and I think it's a damn shame that it doesn't have a Blu-ray release. I think that Criterion, somebody needs to put this on Blu-ray and even 4K, even because it's that good. Unfortunately, it doesn't have like a good rating on IMDb. It's 5.8 out of 10, and I think IMDb, they're full of shit sometimes. Sometimes they're actually right, but sometimes, they're not always right. So yeah, in this case, they're full of shit because it's a very good movie, and it's about 2 hours. It's like 2 hours and 3 minutes long. So it is a little long movie, but it's very good. It doesn't drag at all. It's one of those that keeps you watching and wanting to know what happens next. And there's also a lot of backstory on how like the two brothers grew up and how they became like the drug dealers that they are, and like there's like flashbacks of their childhood, so it kind of like shows like from like present to the past and then past to present, that sort of thing. So I thought that was interesting, that how they like those two plot lines kind of like intertwine with each other. And a lot of it is pretty like depressing because of their mother being a drug addict, their father being a drug addict, and he's still a drug addict as they're adults and everything. There's more into all that stuff, but I don't want to say too much about that just in case you haven't seen it. But yeah, I think that it's one of Wesley Snipes' best movies, in my opinion. I'd say I put it at. I definitely put it at my top 10 favorite Wesley Snipes films, no question about it. And it has some good action. There's some, gunplay and stuff like that. And Ernie Hudson is in here as a villain, as a gangster, and that was surprising because he's usually like the nice guy, who's always doing the right thing. But this one, he's a real bad guy in this one, and he played it well. So it was interesting to see him do something different and going out of his comfort zone with the acting, and that what makes him a great actor because of that. And but the cinematography of New York is amazing. Like the way that it looks, it's beautifully shot. The music in here is great too. It has a great soundtrack, a lot of hip hop songs in it, and I also really like the cover art here. And there's also like the screen captures in the back too. I think it's pretty nice. Definitely not for the kids because of like the subject material and stuff like that. It's all self-explanatory, so I don't really need to go more in depth into that. I mean, if you want to see why it's rated R, I mean, like you can look it up, and you'll pretty much understand why I say it's not for the kids. But yeah, if you haven't seen it, I recommend giving it a watch. Definitely, if you like films like New Jack City, Scarface, or Carlito's Way. You definitely want to check it out because it's a pretty good time of a movie, and I definitely want to rewatch it again sometime soon. And hopefully down the line they'll end up releasing a 4K Blu-ray edition of this because I think it needs more love than it has. I mean, cause so far it's just released on VHS and DVD, and I think it definitely needs to have an upgraded version for it, and I think that people need to support it more because it's one of those unappreciated movies, in my opinion, and you don't really hear many people talk about it, and that's just, too bad. But yeah, there's also some funny moments in here. There's a lot of dark, gritty, emotional scenes in here. and definitely very intense scenes in here too that'll make you go like, oh shit, like, like why is that happening, or what's gonna happen next, And there's also like some racism in here too, like with like the mob, they're a bunch of white guys, so like of course there's gonna be racism and stuff like that. So like if that sort of thing, bothers you, then you probably aren't gonna like it. And also, if it's about drug addiction, if you lost somebody that OD'd on drugs, it's probably not something for you. Because it does like involves stuff like that. I'm not going to go into detail as to why, but if that sort of thing affects you in any way, then you definitely don't need to see it. But despite that, it's a very good movie. It's credited as a thriller action, and that's basically what it is. And I think that it's one of like the best, like drug dealer gangster type films like ever made, in my opinion. Is it better than like other stuff like Scarface or New Jack City? Probably not, but it's still it's still pretty close to that level though, in my opinion. I still think that New Jack City and Scarface, like those movies, I like them a little bit more than I do like this movie, but I still love this movie though. It's just like not better than New Jack or Scarface in my personal opinion. But yeah, if you like those, you definitely need to check out Sugar Hill. You can get it for pretty cheap nowadays. Although when I saw it, it was going for pretty expensive. So I was looking for a cheaper price, and I saw it for $5. So I figured, what the hell, I'll buy it. So if you find it used, if you have a good deal on it, or if you see it brand new and you see it for dirt cheap, pick it up. Is what I can say. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Stay tuned for more movie reviews and stuff like that coming up soon. And I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.